What's good, y'all? It's the White Shadow Norway in a place to be, and it's finally that time of year. Yes, my friends, it's finally Halloween. And this is my horror movie collection. I got some VHS stuff over there, got the Beyond Tin Lunchbox over there. Over here is horror Blu rays and DVDs. Beautiful, ain't it? Yeah, definitely. And got some cool posters up here and the old Ultrabit Cannibal Holocaust with the original Go video cover and everything. Creepers, which is Dario Argento's Phenomena. Wifey on the wall here overseeing everything. So, as is tradition around here, I'm going to do my annual horror video short video. Last year, it was my favorite horror movies by year from 1920 to 2020 for those last 100 years. And I had like a top 5 or top 10 for every year. The year before that, I did from 1970 to 1990, my top 5 or 10 favorites by year for those 2 decades. But this year, I'm going to be doing my all-time top 50 horror movies, regardless of year. So this is just my top 50 favorites in this video. So we are going to just kick back and relax. Of course, you can cheat and skip to the end of the video to see what my number one is, which is a new number one compared to an old video I made with my top 50 or top 20 anyway. But of course, Jack Torrance is gonna get ya if you do that. Here's Shadow and my top 50 horror movies of all time. So we started number 50, of course. I got hard copies of every movie, so I'm trying to find each title and pull them out and talk about them a little bit. So this will probably be a long video. So it's best enjoyed just relaxed and just kick back and enjoy the full video. Anyway, my number 50 is the infamous, not Cannibal Holocaust, but Candyman. See? I got that down here. There it is. Of course, if you look into a mirror and say his name 5 times, Candyman, 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 then he will appear right behind you and kill your motherfucking ass. So my number 50 on the top 50 horror movies of all time for the White Shadow Norway is Candyman, a great one, definitely. We are gonna put them back in here, so just kick back and relax, and we're gonna do it nice and easy, okay? Number 49 is an Italian movie. Let me see if I can find the Italian DVD section. There it is. And it is directed by Lucio Fulci. And it is the infamous video nasty New York Ripper. Definitely not for the faint-hearted. This one, you got to be able to take some strong violence to sit through this one. This scene in particular, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you can probably see what's going on. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about there. Gory, violent masterpiece from New York, the New York Ripper, directed by Italian horror maestro Lucio Fulci. RIP is my number 49. So we go with number 48, which is a slasher movie. Now the slasher section, I think it's down at the bottom here. Let me see. Yes, it is. My number 48 is the Canadian slasher Visiting Hours. It's a pretty awesome one with Michael Ironside here as a batshit crazy maniac chasing this nurse in a hospital, and he's nuts, man. He's fucking insane, but a lot of fun. So definitely an all-time slasher favorite. This one, Visiting Hours, my number 48. Back in it goes. There we go, without making a mess this time. That's a good thing. Moving on to number 47, and I got a box set of that. Let me see if I can find that. It's also a slasher classic. Friday the 13th, part 1. Yes, I got the DVD box set there with the first 8 movies. The best ones can be found there, and my number 47, the original first Friday the 13th. Going back to Italy and Lucio Fulci for my number 46. And it is, let me see, I think I got this on Blue Rizzle. So I'm just going to go through here and see if I can find it then. I got the Italian ones. There we go. Yeah, my number 46 horror movie of all time is the classic Zombie Flesh Eaters, directed by Lucio Fulci. Yeah, one of the absolute best zombie movies. I'm actually not a huge zombie fan, but I love a few of them a lot, and this is one. This was also the first Italian horror movie I ever saw back when I was like 12 years old on a sleepover at a friend's house. And of course the infamous shark versus zombie scene and eyeball violence is in this Arrow Video Blu-ray edition of Zombie Flesh Eaters, my number 46. Number 45 we go, and that's kind of an obscure one on a really rare DVD. I'm gonna have to go to the bottom here for that. And let me see, my number 45 horror movie of all time is a real creepy ghost movie, maybe the creepiest of all. Actually a TV movie from the UK, this one, from the late 80s, and it is The Woman in Black, a spine-chilling ghost story shown off exactly as it says on this one. The Woman in Black, she's like everywhere in this, and this is based on the play of the same name, stage play, The Woman in Black, which is supposed to be very creepy as well. I've never attended, but that would be a fun ride, I bet, and you're lucky if you ever have. But anyway, there was a remake too, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, and it's good too. Yeah, absolutely a great recent horror movie, but you know, the originals are the originals, and this kicks some serious ass right here. The Woman in Black, my number 45 horror movie of all time right there. Okay, put it back in nice and easy. You can watch this Dark Shadows Coffin box set in the meantime as we move on up the charts. Yeah, I got a crate of records over here too, with a Wu-Tang sticker and El Fudge and Fang Records, and yeah, one of the good old boxes from my traveling DJ days over there. Anyway, we're at number 44, and it comes from one of the absolute best horror director maestros, David Cronenberg. My 44 is the head-exploding Scanners. This is the Criterion edition Blu-ray. Great edition, this one. Pretty cool artwork here too. I prefer the original covers for the artworks, but as a new one goes for originality, this one is pretty badass. So my 44, David Cronenberg's Scanners. So I was gonna make a turntablist video today, but then I got high. Nah, I didn't, man. Fuck that. But you know, it's Halloween, so I'd rather make a horror video today. It's been a lot about horror on my social media this month too. I take it seriously and I celebrate because it's my favorite holiday of the year, Halloween. So we move on up the charts though. At number 43, we have to get on up again and pull this one up a second time because it is Friday the 13th, part 2. That's probably the one that's the most horror out of that franchise. Is the one that's the most hardcore horror, and it keeps growing on me, but for now it's my number 43 horror movie of all time. At number 42, we're gonna move into recent times, so we move it down here, and it is The Conjuring 2. Yes, one of the absolute best newer horror movies. This James Wan's just been killing it. I'm gonna talk more about him later. But yeah, The Conjuring 2. This is a really creepy haunted house flick, and you got the infamous Nun as well. She's got her own solo movie too, called just a Nun. I actually haven't seen that one yet. We're already at number 41. Back to Italy again, and once again it's Lucio Fulci, man, one of the greatest horror directors of all time, and definitely one of the best from Italy there at number 41. It is a, let me see here, I got it on Blu-ray, yep, I got it on Blu-ray. Back to the Italian movies here, up here, and my number 41 is Gates of Hell, or City of the Living Dead, by Lucio Fulci. This is the Arrow video Blu-ray, but it's got a different cover than this, and I've always really loved this artwork. So, and it was on the booklet, so I put this in front actually, so I could have that. I know it's been released with this as a cover later. And there's also like a statue, like a box set, really hard to get DVD that's out of print a long time ago. It's always been hard to get actually. I'll probably find out there if you're willing to pay the price and if you search long enough. Top 40 already, man. Time flies when you're having fun. You know how it goes. And it is a shark movie, and it is Jaws 2. A great follow-up to the original Jaws. This one actually a lot of fun there. A lot of kids on the water, and they all get attacked. Some get eaten, of course. And yeah, great action and suspense here for Jaws 2. My number 40, top horror movie of all time. Hope y'all having fun on Halloween out there, and that y'all watch a lot of horror movies. If you still don't know how to watch, I hope that this video can help you out somehow, because there's a lot of goodies here. It's actually the 50 best horror movies of all time, in my opinion. Moving up to number 39. I don't think I have that one as a Blu-ray, so that is a DVD. And I'm going back down into slasher territory here, and picking out the Christmas-themed horror movie Black Christmas. If this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight, definitely. So that's my number 39 there. There's there's a killer at a sorority house, and you know, doing obscene phone calls and everything. And well, there's this sorority house, and this obscene phone caller, he turns out to be a maniac killer. So do you think he'll go after the sorority house girls? I do think so, yeah. Another great one, this one, and the best Christmas themed horror movie. I always watch this before Christmas every year. Number 39 right there, Black Christmas. Number 38 is a return to Zombieland with the return of the Living Dead. A lot of fun, this one, man. It's up there with the best zombie movies of all time, and yeah, it's just rising higher and higher on my list as well. This great one, fun one, Return of the Living Dead. Number 37, and it's a I guess you could call it a satanic horror movie. I don't know if I got a section for satanic and occult movies. I don't think so. But I'll find it anyway. I got one with ghost movies and supernatural stuff over here. The first hardcore horror flick I saw back, well, it was made in 1975, but I saw it on video in 1982 for the first time here. The Devil's Reign. Some of it recorded at the real Church of Satan. Some was filmed at the real Church of Satan with its founder Anton LaVey in the movie as an actor. So pretty damn real in that respect, and a really creepy, sinister, occult themed satanic horror movie. This The Devil's Reign. You got Ernst Borgnine as the evil one himself. Evil, the devil himself. And yeah, when I got a VCR back in 82, the first one, a Video 2000 System Machine, this was on repeat a lot, because it was one of the best horror movies they had for rent at the local spot there. So now you know. Anyway, Stephen King's Pet Sematary is my number 36 horror movie of all time. Scary, scary fun, this one. Zelda, that's all I'm gonna say. Would you like to have her in your house, living there? I don't think so. Meow. Pet Sematary anyway at number 36 there. And we are top 35. We're moving on up anyway. Yeah, I don't know how long this video will be. I guess maybe an hour, maybe more. It don't matter as long as it's fun. And it is fun. I think so anyway. And I hope you enjoy it. My number 35 is also a zombie movie from Italy, and directed by Italian horror maestro Mario Bava's son, Lamberto Bava, and it is the original first Demons right here. Yes, also action-packed zombie fun on this film here. Rented it on VHS back in the days in Oslo at those kind of shops that had some import movies they rented out. That was illegal, of course, so when we saw them we were like in awe and like, yeah, finally get some of those gorier illegal horror movies to watch, so before I had it on DVD myself and stuff, we would rent at some shops in Oslo. I remember those were good times too, man. Demons, my number 35 horror movie of all time. Italian gore and zombie fun galore. Number 34, we are staying in Italy, and yeah, I got this on DVD by itself, but I'm gonna break out this compilation here by Dario Argento, because my number 34 is a Dario Argento movie, and it is the original Suspiria. What should I say? Definitely like a masterpiece of style and color, that one. I can't really say that the full movie is all that great. I mean, it has some great scenes, but Dario actually he did the best scenes during the first, like, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, which is crazy. Some crazy kills and chase scene in the middle of the night, and really spooky and violent, and everything that's good about horror happens within the first 15 minutes of this movie. So the rest of it doesn't really hold up as far as suspense and stuff, but it's an interesting ride arts wise, when viewing film as art anyway, and definitely a must see there, Suspiria. Let me tell you, if you're not used to Italian horror movies, it takes some getting used to, because they're very different from their American counterparts, what we're used to seeing there. It's a lot more about style than your regular plots that has a set start and finish that everyone can easily understand. The Italians go deeper, they just do. That was my number 34 anyway, and we are moving to the USA and a much lighter movie for number 33. It's actually more like a fun kind of slasher type movie, and yes, got it on DVD down here. My number 33 of all time is April Fool's Day. They also remade this, and it wasn't bad actually, but the originals, they always win. Well, usually anyway. And yeah, a lot of fun, and it's a whodunit type mystery in a way as well. So if you're into that and horror and some comedy on top of that, then this is good stuff, man. April Fool's Day. Excuse me. Definitely slept on a lot, I'd say, man. This is a really, really great movie, April Fool's Day. Awesome fun, also for Halloween. I'm going to watch it today. Actually, it's one of my picks to watch for Halloween tonight. That is going to be a long night. Anyway, number 32, we are staying in slasher territory, and we're moving up once again for the third time to the Friday the 13th box set. And it's Friday the 13th part 4, which is my number 32 horror movie of all time. Crispin Glover's dance in this, yeah, man, if you have a bad day and you need to get in a better mood, then that's just watch that and it will make you laugh through the rest of the day, man. It's so great. Crispin Glover played, of course, McFly in the Back to the Future movies. Think, McFly, think. I'm gonna move one up anyway. 31, almost top 30 here. And yet another slasher that I probably should have on Blu-ray, but I only have it on DVD. And yeah, it's good enough for me, man. And partly because it has the original cover artwork. That's important to me, man. They're way cooler than the newer artworks usually. But anyway, my number 31 horror movie of all time is the follow-up to Halloween. Yeah, to Halloween. And it is Halloween today, so that fits well then. Halloween 2 for my number 31. A direct sequel to the original. It just picks up where the first movie left off. And you can watch this one and the first one as one movie, actually. Yeah, that's a good thing to do today. So I'm going to do that too later tonight. That's I always watch the Halloween movies for Halloween. My number 30 favorite horror movie of all time, the classic Rosemary's Baby, starring Mia Farrow, about the devil's child. You know, I'm sure most people have seen this, but I'm not gonna talk too much about the plots of these movies. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but yeah, super creepy classic, directed by Roman Polanski. This one, Rosemary's Baby, my number 30 favorite horror movie of all time. Nonetheless, we are moving up to number 29 though, and it is a ghost movie. To many people, it is the best ghost movie of all time. We're going to bring it back in time to the 60s though, with none other than The Haunting. My grandmother used to talk about this because she saw it in a movie theater when it was new, and it scared the shit out of her. She didn't really want to see any more horror movies after having watched this one, and couldn't sleep for days, if not weeks. Well, it must have been only days, or she wouldn't survive, but yeah, she couldn't sleep for days after seeing this in a theater. I can imagine that being quite the experience, actually seeing it in a movie theater when it was new and people weren't so used to horror movies, you know. So one of the scariest horror movies, ghost movies of all time, it still is. You may not believe in ghosts, but you cannot deny terror. The Haunting, my number 29 horror movie of all time. I'm the White Shadow Norway, and I'm gonna put this back in here, baby. Try not to make a mess because I just organized my movies, so you know, make sure everything's lined up and everything, man, or it just looks shabby. You know, if you're gonna collect, you're gonna have a collection, then it's everything's got to be lined up and everything's got to be solid, man. You know how it is. Back to Italy for number 28, and we got a Giallo movie there by Dario Argento, pulling out the box set again for that one. And it is his debut Giallo Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and definitely one of his best as well there from Dario Argento. The best Italian horror director of all time, without a doubt. Well, some people think Lucio Fulci, and he is great too. It's between Argento and Fulci anyway. Number 28 on my top 50 favorite horror movies of all time, this is The White Shadow Norway, is Dario Argento's Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And we're almost halfway there, and number 27 is a Cabin in the Woods zombie type flick, and now you probably know what it is that I'm talking about, or one of them anyway. My number 27 of all time is Evil Dead 2, Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2, starring Bruce Campbell, fighting off the demonic zombies in this one. And yeah, this is a good Halloween movie, man, and a good one to watch if you're in a cabin in the woods as well there, Evil Dead 2. And number 26 is another zombie flick, bringing it back to the original zombie flick, actually, from 1968, directed by late horror maestro George A. Romero. Rest in power, Night of the Living Dead, the first one in the Dead trilogy. Yep. When there's no more room in hell, the dead will start walking the earth, and they start in this one. And it holds up well today. I mean, it's black and white, it's old, it's 1968, but that makes it creepier in a lot of ways. So, at number 25, moving back to recent times again, with none other than the original to sequel I've already showed you that was lower on the charts is The Conjuring. This to me is the best horror movie made after Scream. That came out in '96, but for the 2Ks, the 2000s, all the way up until now, I think The Conjuring is the best horror movie of them all. And there's no denying that its director, James Wan, has fucking killed it. And it's up there now with the horror greats like John Carpenter or Wes Craven or Dario Argento or George Romero, David Cronenberg, all the great horror directors of all time. He's already proved himself with the Conjuring universe. And he also did Saw and Insidious, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. James Wan, we thank you. You kind of saved horror. I mean, there's plenty of good horror movies nowadays, but James Wan at his best is a cut above the rest, definitely, with the super creepy, demonic ghost tale, The Conjuring here, the original and the first one. We continue on there, and we are halfway, my friends, and number 24. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we break out the Dario Argento box set, because my number 24 horror movie of all time is Tenebrae. If you've never seen an Italian horror movie and never seen an Argento movie, Tenebrae is a good place to start, because it's more of an American style with a bit of taste of the Italian style of horror movie filmmaking, Tenebrae. So, and also a great whodunit, and really, really gory as well. Violent as all fuck as well there, brutal. Tenebrae by Argento, my number 24 horror movie of all time. Can you make it back in there without me having to put the camera down? Yes, you can. Good boy, my boy Dario. And next up for number 23, you have been looking at it a couple times. Number 23 of my favorite horror movies of all time is actually the Scream sequel, Scream number 4. Ghostface coming at you to kill your ass. Yep, Scream 4, man. The best Scream movie to me after the first one, the original. It's I got the devil on the wall over there. Yep, it is Scream number 4 to me, man. I love the opening of this, man, when it flips from stab 7 to stab 8 and all that. Some people hate it, but I just love it. I think it's a lot of fun, man. So it's another slasher, and it is not that hard to find on my shelf either. It is the classic The Burning. Great Rick Wakeman synth soundtrack, and a giallo feel to the beginning, which is kind of out of place, but it's still a great murder scene. But this is more of a fun slasher at summer camp type movie, and it's always a lot of great fun. The Burning right here, man. Yeah, what can I say? Gory too. I mean, Tom Savini did the effects on this one, and that's always a good thing. So The Burning, my number 22 favorite horror movie of all time for this special Halloween edition from the White Shadow Norway, where I always do like a chart-based horror movie annually. I wish I had time to do more, but than one a year, but I really don't, you know. A lot of things going on musically and in life and otherwise, so this is it for Halloween. It's the perfect timing too. Almost top 20 now, we're at number 21. And yes, yet one more time, I'm gonna break out the Argento Collection Blu-ray, because my number 21 is arguably the finest Dario Argento movie, and that is, the title's down there, and you guessed it already, it's Deep Red. Beautiful, long giallo masterpiece, of course, from Dario, and technically his best movie. It's not my favorite Argento movie. I think there's one or two more, and they're coming up later. But anyway, number 21 on my top 50 favorite horror movies of all time is Dario Argento's Profondo Rosso in Italian, or Deep Red. They also got Luigi Cassi, his friend. He's got the store in Rome called Profondo Rosso, or Deep Red, Profondo Rosso. So if you ever visit Rome and you're into horror movies, you should definitely go see Luigi Cossi at the store. In the basement there, they have a lot of the monsters and the effects for Dario Argento's movies and stuff too. And Cossi works there himself, so you get to chat with him and get autographs. You know, they probably have a lot of great horror movies and other horror related stuff. So, hey man, I'm running a free commercial now for a Profondo Rosso store in Rome. I should probably get sponsored, but I don't give a damn, man. It's all for the love of horror movies, you know what I mean? So if you're ever in Rome, man, and a horror fanatic, make sure to visit Profondo Rosso store right there. Top 20. Here we go. Number 20 is another bona fide horror classic, of course, and I got a box set on these. I also got it on DVD by itself, but I don't know if I got that one here. Let me see. I don't think so. So I'm pull out the box set, and my number 20 is the original First Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a collection of 8 discs and the first 7 movies, but definitely my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. Cuts above the rest, like Drew Barrymore said in the Scream movie. Like, yeah, the first Nightmare on Elm Street was scary, but the rest sucked. I don't think they sucked, but the first one, Nightmare on Elm Street, is way better than the sequels to me, man. Can't even compare. So that's my number 20. Anyway, we're inside the top 20 now. We're at number 19, and I think for the last time in this video, we are going to break out the Dario Argento collection and bring you my favorite Argento movie. Now, we've already had Tenebrae, Bird with a Crystal Plumage, Deep Red, and Suspiria on the charts, so it's really between Phenomena and Opera. So which one do you think is my favorite Dario Argento movie of all time at number 19 here? Well, it is Opera, or in the US titled Terror at the Opera, but in a shortened version. And it still had all or most of the gore though. But of course the long Italian version is the one, and that's the one on this collection as well there from Dario Argento. Of course set in an opera house with a psycho killer running around. It's great, man. Styles wise, plot wise, everything, man. The soundtrack is great. Yeah, man, Dario Argento at his best to me. My favorite Argento movie of all time at my number 19 at my favorite top 50 horror movies of all time chart for the White Shadow Norway, Dario Argento's Opera. So Dario, I'm gonna let you rest now. I've been through most of the movies on your collection box set, which, by the way, features all the best Argento movies in my opinion. The only one that didn't make it to my top 50 was Phenomena, but it doesn't mean that it's not great. I showed you the poster up here too, Creepers, aka Phenomena. Yeah, somebody's watching me and I have no privacy. And we're moving up, man. We are at number 18, and we're gonna go up here for a John Carpenter collection. I mean, I have most of these on Blu-ray, but not all of them. So for my number 18, let me see if I can pick it up here. It's really tight in here. I can't really do it, but I'll show you. My number 18 of all time then is John Carpenter's The Fog. Also one I usually gotta watch for Halloween. I don't think I'll have time for it this time because I'm gonna do both the Halloweens, and I got April Fool's Day and a couple other movies I'm gonna watch. So or maybe I will put it in, but The Fog is great for Halloween. Creepy, fun John Carpenter movie there from the 80s, very 80s. Is my number 18. Number 17 is one I didn't include on previous videos because it's more of an action flick, but I've decided to include it here anyway because it is very much horror related. And it is from this box set, the Alien Anthology, and it is the sequel, the second one, Aliens. Look at how cool this is with the colors, if there's the light shines on the alien here. Number 16, kind of a zombie movie. Also like a, what should I say, a medical experiments type movie and crazy scientist type movie. And it is the H.P. Lovecraft classic story made into this great splatter movie, Reanimator, from back in the day, man. It's just classic, classic, classic. A lot of gory fun, this one. Definitely also a great movie to watch on Halloween there. My number 16 horror movie of all time is Reanimator. Top 15. Yes, we're there already, my friends. And at number 15, I showed you the sequel already. But I think the first one is the best one out of the original trilogy, and that's Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead, the uncut version, this one, the UK edition, the ultimate experience in crueling terror. Yeah, classic Evil Dead. If you haven't seen it, man, get it now. Perfect for Halloween as well there. Of course, you gotta be able to take some real gory, splatter, violent shit, but in a fun way also for this one. So, but if you can do that, classic, classic, classic. And if you've seen it before, revisit. And a lot of people out there, that's probably among your favorites, and one of mine as well there at number 15, the original first Evil Dead. Number 14, we are moving to Italy once again, and I showed you this lunchbox over here with it. It's still there. Oh yes, yeah, there it is. But I'll show you the Blu-ray from Arrow Video of L'Aldilla, directed by Lucio Fulci, or better known, of course, as The Beyond. Or in the USA, it was called Seven Doors of Death and cut to pieces as well, with a new soundtrack added and everything. So I've never seen that version, but yeah, I'm gonna have to grab that one of these days. What can I say about this, man? It's Lucio Fulci's zombie masterpiece. This girl buys a hotel, and it happens to be one of the 7 gateways to hell, and all of a sudden it's a zombie mayhem apocalypse around her. I'm not going to ruin it further for you if you haven't seen it, but definitely a must see this one. And my number 14 horror movie of all time, Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. Number 13, another big classic from the 70s that I have on Blu-ray here. And we're gonna go over here, and it is the classic, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one right here. Leatherface Gunnar Hansen, man. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful horror classic there. Crazies out in West Bubblefuck, you know, we got a lot of them out here, man. I live way out there. I live in the Norwegian equivalent to Twin Peaks, you know what I mean? So I still haven't seen a Texas Chainsaw Massacre out here for real, but it's, I mean, there's been things happening out here that's pretty damn close. I'm not gonna get into those now, even if it's Halloween. Just watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and have fun and get creeped out once again. Number 12 is, to most people, including me as well, the best zombie movie of all time, and this is the DVD Ultimate Edition. Love this edition of George A. Romero's classic Dawn of the Dead, with super effects by the maestro Tom Savini, of course. Many different versions. The extended longest version is 139 minutes. Dawn of the Dead, super fun zombie flick there, man, and a classic from back in the late 70s. At number 12 on my favorite horror movies of all time lists. Can you make it back in there without me making a mess? Yes, you could. Good zombies, man. Dawn of the Dead. All right. Top 10, almost, but first, number 11. One of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time, and it is the original Alien, the first one. Yes, sir, that is my favorite and the best one, of course. Aliens is more of a fun action type flick, but Alien is pure horror in outer space, and one of the absolute best horror movies set in outer space of all time there, Alien. Number 10 is, in my opinion, the best sci-fi horror movie of all time. I just dropped Alien, but even better than that is John Carpenter's The Thing. And it's also the best remake of all time, in my opinion. This one from 1982, remaking the original The Thing, and it's very different from the original as well. and more updated and much better. It's also a great whodunit movie and alien movie and splatter movie and everything, man. The Thing. You can watch movies like this unlimited times. That's the thing that differs these old movies from the new ones, that they don't get old. I mean, even if you know the full plot by heart, you can quote every line of dialogue in them. They're still incredibly great, and you can do like infinite repeated viewings on them, you know. So my number 10, the greatest horror sci-fi of all time, John Carpenter's The Thing. And to a lot of people, it is also John Carpenter's greatest movie and greatest horror movie anyway. We're well inside the top 10, and we are going for number 9. You've seen this guy every now and then. The original Go Video VHS cover artwork for the Italian cannibal flick Cannibal Holocaust, the best cannibal movie of all time, and controversial as all hell. Yes, this scene is of course in the movie. If you've never seen this, you should, man. The most controversial movie ever made. Yeah, I can probably agree with that. I'm not gonna spoil it in any way further for you if you haven't seen it, but if you think you're tough, you know, if you think you're really tough, you can handle everything that goes on the movie screen or TV screen, try this, you know, and make sure you really, you know, you watch it close and really get into it, man, and see if you regret after having seen it. Italian director Ruggero Deodato's masterpiece Cannibal Holocaust here with a great Riz Ortolani soundtrack as well is my number 9 favorite horror movie of all time. Okay, top 8 right now. We're gonna talk about who is probably the best director of all time, period, in movie history regarding of genre and everything, and that is my man, rest in power to the legend Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, I think he is the best director of all time. Not gonna open this, but since I bring out Alfred Hitchcock, my number 8 favorite horror movie of all time is of course Hitchcock's 1960 shocker, literally Psycho. Norman Bates coming at you. We all go a little mad sometimes, and today might be the day for that. Since it's Halloween, we're kind of allowed to go a little mad sometimes. Yeah, all the time today actually. We can go crazy like my man Jack over here. It's Johnny. All right, top 7, number 7. I got that on Blu-ray, so I'm gonna pull that out really quick here. I'll probably get hated on a little because this is seen as like a teen horror movie, but it's so much fun. It got so much references to so many references to great horror movies and stuff, and it never stops being fun, man. You can see it a million times, and it's moving up to be my favorite franchise. That used to be Friday the 13th, but it's now been switched by Scream. Yeah, that's right, the original Scream, the first one, with, you know, Drew Barrymore, Neve Campbell, and so on. It is just great, clever, hip, and scary. Okay, yeah, it's like a teen horror movie for the 90s, but this is the 90s defining movie for me, man. This defines the 90s, the vibe that was going on back then, coupled with like the boom bap golden era type hip hop that was constantly dropping back then. There wasn't as many great horror movies as there was hip-hop records and house music and stuff back in the 90s. No, the 90s horror movies were few and far between compared to the 80s and before that, but this one kind of kick-started again, man, brought new life to the whole genre, Scream by Wes Craven, and definitely his best movie as well there. My number 7 of all time is Scream, the first one, the original. Almost top 5 here now. Number 6, it is about the Devil's Kid, Damien Thorne, and the original 1976 The Omen. Now, if your name is Damien, you're automatically labeled evil because of Damien Thorne from this film. Great movie. But I really dislike this cover art. They should have used the original cover art, but at least I got the VHS over here with the original cover art. This is the original Norwegian VHS. Sorry. Of the Omen right here, so at least I got it there, but I still end up watching the Blu-ray because it's much better quality, of course. There, my number 6 favorite horror movie of all time is the classic Richard Donner directed The Omen. Number 5, also really fun horror movie to watch on Halloween, and the best anthology of all time in my opinion, and it is George A. Romero's Creepshow. Yes, 5 Tales of Terror there. Stephen King's Creepshow, a George A. Romero film, classic as it gets. You got Dawn of the Dead and The Shining and Carrie posters here on the wall, and the Creepshow cartoon, and the ghoul outside the window and everything, man, and the kid being up to some nasty stuff after he got scolded by his dad. That's all I'm going to spoil for you, because if you've never seen this, it's one of the greats, man. My number 5 horror movie of all time, Creepshow. Perfect Halloween movie as well, that one. Anyway, top 4, we're already there. Number 4 is another movie I gotta watch every summer several times, and I've watched it hundreds of times. It's the original Steven Spielberg Jaws. I don't need to say anything about this at all, man. It's one of the absolute best, not only horror movies, but best movies of all time here, the original Jaws by Steven Spielberg. Okay, we're in the top 3. Without further ado, at number 3, this has been my number 1 at some point, and it, I keep changing, I bounce back and forth, and I switch, and like I said, it's a new number 1 now compared to older videos I made that had top charts of my horror movies. Anyway, my number 3, former number 1, is none other than, ta-da, The Exorcist. Regan MacNeil wrecking some serious havoc via the demon Pazuzu that possessed her in the classic The Exorcist. It says the scariest film of all time. To a lot of people, it actually is. And it's based on a true story. That was a boy that was possessed in a true story. You can look it up online. It's actually really creepy to read about it, man. And but yeah, great movie, of course, all-time classic, The Exorcist, right here, my number 3 favorite horror movie of all time. I'm gonna just put it up there now, save a little bit of time, man. I can clean up a little bit of mess after, definitely. So, only 2 to go. Can you guess what they are? Going to have to find them anyway, man. I should be able to pull it right out, but I'm not. My number 2 horror movie of all time. Where the are you at? Let me see here. I'm gonna go through, man. See what's my number 2 favorite movie of favorite horror movie of all time. Do you think? It's also been a number 1 for me before, actually. And it's definitely an epic horror movie, one of the absolute best of all time there, and it's now my number 2. And the only reason why it's number 2 is that it doesn't hold up on repeated viewings as much as my number 1, but I'll get back to that when I show you my number 1. Anyway, my number 2, yes, Stephen King's The Shining, or better yet, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, because it's a lot different than the book. Stephen King hated the movie, and the movie is a lot better than the book. Sorry, Stephen, you're a great author, but that's just the truth, okay? Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and this is the US version, so it's quite a lot longer than the version we've been used to watching in Europe. So even if you've seen this a lot of times, you might not have seen the full version. You gotta get the US version, because it's about 20-25 minutes longer than the European version. Anyway, there, no need to talk about the plot or anything. I mean, if you've never seen it and you want a little spoiler, you just check this out. It says a lot, okay? Called Hotel of Evil, roughly translated in Norwegian, by the way, which is a much more cheapo title than its original The Shining. So there it is, my friends, the Why Should I Norway's top 50 horror movies of all time. Oh no, we're forgetting number one. Out of all these movies that you see here, what do you think is my number one? Going through all of the movies right now, what is my number one favorite horror movie of all time? Well, it's a good one for this holiday, and it's a great one for today, and a must watch for today because it is the original 1978 John Carpenter's ta-da! Halloween. That's my number one favorite horror movie of all time. I'm the White Shadow Norway, and I wish you a really happy Halloween. Peace.